Alhamdulillah for this opportunity. We pray unto Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward the organizers. May Allah reward all of us. Inshallah. Well, my word of advice goes to the sisters, especially because I'm a female. And I know what it takes when it comes to choosing a life partner. I know the agony behind that because I know what I went through when I was in their shoe. Alhamdulillah, if not for MSSN, only Allah knows what could have been our fate today. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the first mistake most of us are making is that we are not seeing marriage as an act of ibadah. Most of us are seeing this as means of enjoyment, our fulfilling only sexual enjoyment. By the time we change that mindset, that impression that inshallah I have my sex partner, maybe we'll have a solution to these salient issues we are talking about. To be precise, I want to address the sisters as I've initially said. The sisters, if you are setting criteria for your future partner, you have to consider Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to consider marriage as an act of ibadah. If you don't, then you are mistaken. You have started with a mistake. The same thing applicable to brothers. We have a lot of instances in my own locality whereby brothers will marry sisters for some period, they will get divorced based on flimsy excuses. Very flimsy. Can you imagine brothers saying that the reason why I divorced my wife is that I'm not enjoying her sexually, she's not good on bed? Can you just imagine? How can you determine that when you are cutting? Can you determine the action a sister would put up on bed when you were cutting? These are issues you can't determine. Imagine a brother saying one breast is bigger than the other, so this is one of the reasons I divorced her. These are flimsy excuses. That is why I said initially that for us to accept and give a stop to all these problems we are facing in our marriages, we have to accept marriage as an act of ibadah. That is the first thing. Sisters, if you don't consider any other reason for you to get married, you have to consider your age. There are some experiences that might be difficult for me to share with you here. Maybe at personal level we'll be talking about that. If you are not getting married on time, if not for any reason, you should get married on time because of childbirth. Because of what? Childbirth. If you know the problem childbirth is posing these days, in fact, you will leave all those criteria you have set for yourself and face Allah and pray to Him to grant you a pious husband. If Magaco is here today to create avenue for us to get right choice, then we should thank Allah and we should make maximum use of that opportunity. Because if not here, where, my brothers and sisters? If not now, when? And if not these sisters, who are you going to marry? If not these brothers, who? Are you going to marry Kegites? Are you going to marry cut brothers? And these things are not written on faces. Can you determine cut brothers? Can you determine bad sisters with the hijab? But by the virtue of the fact that we find ourselves in the midst of righteous people. If you are not righteous and you are not ready to serve Allah, you won't find yourself in MSSN. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. There is no way you attribute yourself with the pious people and you will regret doing that. You won't. So my sister, first thing you have to consider is your age. You have to be conscious of your age. The fact that you are in 100 level and you are 25 years already. You are in 200 level, you are almost 30 years, so you are still waiting to finish your university education before you settle down for marriage. You are deceiving your soul. You are wasting away your hereafter. Just like we have initially told when we were discussing about the core values, your core values should, I'm referring to male and female this time around, our core values should be I'm sorry. Our core values should be being a pious servant of Allah. We ought to be. Our core value is to raise pious servant of Allah, to breed pious children. This should be our core value. So you cannot do this if you are ruling out and if you are setting some criteria that are not relevant for yourself. So you sisters, for Allah's sake, let us be conscious of the fact that we are female, number one, and we have age. Age is, I don't even know the adjective to use for it. It's one of the factors we shouldn't play with. You shouldn't play with our age at all, because it has to do with childbirth. It has to do with childbirth. Don't waste it. Then on the brother side, for Allah's sake, please, if you are marrying us, accept us wholeheartedly, lillah, because there are some things you can never determine when you are courting. There are many things you can never determine by the time when you are in the courtship period. So if you marry for Allah's sake, inshallah, with prayer and with determination, inshallah, we'll get to the promised land. Please sisters, for the last time, let us be conscious of the fact that marriage is an act of ibadah, and you can't become a complete Muslim unless and until you fulfill those at that very act. And our brothers too, at this point, please, let us know the reason why we are going into marriage, because most of us, we just find ourselves in marriages by the virtue of the fact that, oh, all my colleagues are now married, oh. The same thing, sisters, all my age mates, all my colleagues, they are now married, oh. It's just the time, I can't still be waiting, oh. Let me just find someone to fix myself up. You have to be psychological, we have to prepare ourselves psychologically, emotionally, physically. Think of all those things we needed. If you just find yourself in marriage suddenly, you know, this a slogan that says, he who fails to plan is definitely planning to fail. So for Allah's sake, let Allah be our watch, our guidance, our goal. If you hold on to Allah sincerely, you will never regret. Assalamu alaikum.